He What's going on, everybody? Yeah, we're doing more Dune stuff. And we're doing more live stuff. I apologize for the lack of more pinball playing. We have been playing some pinball, but not as much as we normally do, only because it is the news of pinball is upon us. Like, it's wild right now. Those pianos have been in there. Those are synths anyways, roller coasters. Jesus. And you say you're a music person. Anyways, yeah, this is pretty exciting. COOLTOY put out a like 30-minute, 40-minute even, video of Dune behind the scenes. It clearly was produced for Barrels of Fun, and it's pretty great. If you haven't seen it, it's on his. Yes, I'm wearing my stupid neck collar. No, I'm not doing a bit, as people keep asking me. Anyways, it goes down and breaks down the entire game. That's right. We're stashless. I look fairly presentable now for the internet. for myself. Anyways, so they break down everything, and I've seen it already. I'm ready to kind of talk about it. There's some things that you can tell, like where the game is at. They talk a little bit about the scoring. So without further ado, let's dive in. Happy Friday too. I think it's Friday. And thank you for joining me. These videos have been really helping the channel grow. And I do want to get back to playing some pinball, and I sure as hell am looking forward to trying to do Valinor runs again, as I'm sure you're all way super stoked to watch me get suffered and screwed over on that. But yeah, in the meantime, the news must flow. So here we go. The art package, I think, is very great. I really have absolutely no complaints. Anybody who like, come on, having funny mechs on a game, for a game this serious, having a big butthole worm, awesome. If you don't like butthole worm, man. Also, the sync should be good for this now. That was partly my fault and partly Stern's fault on the last video. But let me know, it should be good.
Hi, I'm Bowen Cairns. I'm one of the rules designers at Barrels of Fun. I work on...
Let's stop real quick and talk about Bowen. Bowen is an absolute legend in pinball. Bowen was responsible for Papa and Papa's presentations back in the day. This is maybe 10 years ago. And he is one of the primary rules designers, he's about to say. Bowen is a huge reason that I got into watching pinball on the internet, along with, Dead Flip and some others, including Carl. But it's really, I'm sorry, Bowen, that this is not a real glamorous framed pause on your face. But yeah, Bowen's been a huge inspiration for me doing pin stuff online, and one of the reasons why I'm so stoked to be on Team Dune and supporting Barrels of Fun. So.
Tim Henson's Labyrinth, and now I'm involved with the project of Dune. And we've got this incredible game that we're rolling out for the very first time today in public.
Don't have worms in your butthole. It's true, Board Dog. What's going on?
Eager to take you through it. All right, Brian here is attempting to play
fixed the rewards too. Those should now be good. But don't be jumping a bunch of rewards in here right now. You know better.
The biggest feature of Dune is the sandworm, which sits in
So one thing that I think is like really important to note here, and you can tell that this game is very early in development. There's probably going to be at least a month or two before they even get remotely close to the final code.
It has a magnet that can be used to grab
we never have a very serious stream. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Let's play some ass.
This game is that we have an entire day-night cycle, like
there we go.
Arrakis. So
it's appropriate because of the butthole right there.
Orange and the
Anyways, so one thing y'all are going to notice here when we go into it, the interactive light show doesn't exist. Like every time they make a shot, like nothing happens on the playfield. And I unfortunately think this is a huge oversight for Dune's first kind of exposure to the world as they release their game. It shows how important interactive light shows are in a pinball machine, and the footage of Dune doesn't feel as exciting because of that. And it's important to note that like that's obviously going to go in the game. If you've played Labyrinth, you notice that when you hit loop shots and stuff like that, light shows happen. There's none of that. Like, yes, they have the expression lighting system on the side running, but you'll notice there's like a good 10 minutes of footage where they're hitting shots and ramps and just everything, spinners, and like nothing happens on the playfield. So their lighting programming clearly isn't done. And I think that makes this game look less exciting and look less like flowy. Again, like I think Kong is going to be a better flow game, but Dune looks less exciting because their sound package is turned down and there's not a lot of lights going on.
Darker and blue at night, and the screen we'll show you the progress of the day-night cycle. And if we're night as we are here, then
I love this day-night cycle thing. It's, I think, not stolen, but a little bit from like Avatar. JJP Avatar had a thing where if you hit enough switches, you could enter a solar eclipse mode and then hit a right ramp spinner shot for a jackpot. And this is similar to that. It looks like the day-night cycles as you hit switches.
To get the experience you have here, we want us and Legendary Pictures. We want to make sure that everyone who gets to play this game gets the full experience of enjoying this entire game.
So now, you can tell, like, watch this. Like, the only lighting that they have on the playfield that seems to be working is their drop targets and, like, the right, like, shot. Like, they just have the objective lights working. Like, what do you need to hit? This light, it's on. But none of the, like, transitional, like, flare lights.
You did it! You survived!
I know, right? That double flip, you couldn't be more on the nose. So what double flip is talking about here is, let's see if we can get a good freeze frame. So what a diffuser is it's a white, well, it can be any color, but it's a layer of something to make the light scatter so that it doesn't create little points. Here you can see on their recessed lighting, this just raw dogging LEDs, and that super sucks. So like, for example, I do have, let me see if I can find one. I don't have a diffuser hiding around here someplace. Oh, yes I do, here. We can use, open up, fuck you, Ghostbusters. Open up, gimme! Okay. So, for example, here, this is a little LED light that I have on for our plumb bob inside of the games. So you can see here, when it's on, it's nice and soft. It looks nice. Look at that. Ooh, look at this lighting, okay? But in reality, if you take off this diffuser, which is what this top part is, it's a bunch of, that's a little too bright to be able to tell. Let me turn the brightness down. It's a bunch of point lights. That's the wrong direction. We're going to be good here. Let's get in the shadow. Okay, so if I point it this way and slowly turn it up here, you can see. There we go, almost. You can see it's a bunch of little dots. They're LEDs. Everybody in the pinball world knows what a fucking LED is, right? But when you slap this guy on top of it, it makes it absolutely just diffused and looks really nice. So this is an issue for me as somebody who really likes lighting. I would be very bothered by that. And I agree. I think that's like one of the first mods that I would want to put on there. This is a really nitpicky bullshit thing, but it does seem to be something that a lot of pinball manufacturers are doing with LEDs. They just slap them on there. Elton John's a good example. Elton John has a huge diffuser that runs like up and down both sides of it, and it makes for a substantially better light show. I don't like the Elton John one because it's just like freaking in-your-face rainbow nightmare fuel, but you know, whatever it is. Oh my God, there's an Illuminati lady up in this bitch. Anyways, so that's what LED spots look like, and that's what a diffuser does. Shall we watch more?
So what did he just achieve?
So that's another good question. So Kevin, when they talk about the lighting in a little bit, we'll get to there. They recessed a spot in the playfield or in the side cabinet for this so that it has as much of a low profile as possible. I did a mod on my Attack from Mars where you can purchase silicone like diffuser stuff, and you could use double-sided tape and stick it on it. I think that any mod person could probably come up with something. Is it something that would interfere with the playfield coming in and out, taking it off and on? Maybe, but this is pretty, you know. I would probably do this because I want this machine to be absolutely like, but as you'll see later on, and Barrels talks about it, pretty much every single mod you could possibly want, other than cosmetic stuff, is going in already. Playfield glass, Invisiglass, shaker motor, better sound system, these giant Kenwood speakers that they're putting into it, a new amp that goes into it, side panel artwork, like the whole kit. It's great.
On the left out lane, a pain box
stay hydrated.
That happens if you drain down the out lane, it'll go into
We're
the
looking
box
at the new Dune video
and give you a chance to save your life.
Right
in the
now,
Dune
your
movie,
body's thirsty for more than water.
Paul puts his hand in the box and has to keep his hand there while enduring pain. So we thought, okay, we can have a player forcibly.
Hope everybody can hear this awesome video as I play this dumb meme over it.
Only play with their other hand. while that's all
Borg Dog,
happening.
to your point,
And
yeah,
again,
I don't
obviously
think you're really going to see it
incredibly
that
difficult
much.
at
It
that
looks
point.
like the playfield is
And
pretty
you escape
reflective
that
because of their
pain by
clear
enduring
coat, so
it
you
and
might be able to
making
see some of
the
it,
game
but
absolutely.
I don't know. The player camera
let's look at
perspective
Desert
doesn't seem
Power.
it's too bad.
And for Desert Power, you're going to light the locks by shooting the
I'm talking a little over
thumper,
this stuff because
then
he's just
lock on
talking
the
about
orbits.
shit that everybody knows.
It gets more difficult as the game goes on, but at least at the base,
I am too.
you shoot either orbit to get locks. Once you got 2 locks,
He's kind of
green
going
shots
over just
play
kind of
out.
what the rule set is
those
and
green
some of the fundamental shots that exist in it.
Set the game to.
But you know, look here. I mean, he just made it in there. That looks like a pop bumper or some sort of kicker in there, which is
all I have
super
left
neat.
to do
Maybe
is
it's
to shoot
magnetic,
the
but
worm.
actually, it's probably magnetic. But that little cavity there looks so fucking cool.
And if I hit the ball there, I can increase the value for the jackpots. But also,
Oh, there we go. There was one. The thumper, there you go. So there is one little light show that they have in it. When the thumper goes down, it cascades out through the entire playfield. That's awesome. That's so cool. Look at that. So like right here, you can see the light is cascading along all the LEDs as it goes every time you hear it go thump. Let's rewind. That's super cool.
And I've got to shoot the worm. Here we go.
One more time. Every time that thumper goes down. Blink.
Now I'm in danger of potentially losing the entire multi-ball. And I've got to shoot the worm. Here we go.
So they clearly don't have a lot of that going on in most of their video footage. Plus, you got to get that butthole. That's right. That's right, Sid. It is a butthole. She's not wrong. It does. It does look like a butthole. It's a prolapse. That's a prolapse butthole. If you've ever been to the gym and had a bad day, that's what it looks like.
That is.
You sit there and all of a sudden there's just a bunch of that's right.
In this case, what you do is you're riding the worm and you are directing the worm left and right.
My favorite butthole.
So Bowen,
Whenever the worm comes back, to the
Bowen now,
shot,
yes,
the
that's right.
yellow
Bowen
lights
bounced
come
around to
on.
there, but I think Bowen officially
That'll
works
allow me
at
to choose
barrels
which
now.
direction the worm is going to go when I hit the yellow shots.
I do wish they would get rid of that giant reflection of the playfield. I got kind of big oversight not putting some flags up to block that. What's going on, Skullbox? Good to see you, dude.
To the right now. And the further over the worm moves to the right, the more it's worth.
So he talks about the wizard mode later. That's a great question. He talks about spelling Dune letters multiple times, similar to the orbs of Gareth in Labyrinth, if you're familiar with that. And also at the bottom of the playfield here, you can see these 4 stacks here are listed. It's like the Battle of Arrakis. It's 4 like mini wizard modes. So there's at least 4 mini wizard modes in the game, and then when you collect enough Dune letters, there's going to be a final like ultra battle thing that they talk about a little later.
Right again. Maybe I can get it this time. Got it. So then there's the second phase of this where you go for a super, which was there.
I love that captive ball mechanic. I think that's such a neat shot.
And I'm out.
Also, amazing wiggle save. Bowen's a really good pinball player and has done a bazillion tutorials on Papa. If you go to Papa TV's YouTube channel and kind of search by about 10 years ago, Bowen is filled with it doing tutorials for game after game.
Inspired by the rule in Labyrinth, you lock a ball behind the fork.
He's done a few recently just as a joke, I think, of some funny games. He did like a classic.
How well you bash it determines the value. So then, the day-night cycle occurs, and I'm in night right now, so I have a prophecy mode lit, and then I can.
So what he's talking about there, because I wouldn't shut up earlier. So when you're in the daytime cycle, there's a set of 6 modes that you can do, and then when you're in nighttime, there's a different set of 6 modes that you can do. So you need to be in the appropriate like day or night cycle in order to start those modes. This is because they have the playfield lit up. When you're in night, all of the lights, all the LEDs are blue and darker. And then when you're in daytime, they're like bright yellow and orange. But they clearly have a giant, I mean, you can see the giant fluorescent
you don't want to play
bulb over the playfield. So
spinners,
kind of.
And then you can transition to day instead. So
it's daytime all the time in Arrakis.
And these transitions can just happen as much as you want them to. Every time you transition, you get a little more value into the game. You get a bonus multiplier. And you can see the transition occurring in the back, the screen in the back.
So, Kevin, to your point, like they do, you can as he just said, you will be able to see whether it's day or night based on their under-screen LCD screen, which is something that's unique to Barrels of Fun. And if you haven't played Labyrinth, it's really neat. It's not a gimmick. It's absolutely part of the pinball experience. You know, when you're playing, it's so hard to look up and see really what's going on the main screen a lot of the times without losing track of what's going on the playfield. And that's fair, yes. That's right. Papa Duke done did it first.
And then eventually the color will change until you're...
Yeah, so that you can see the color of the day-night really adjusted, even though they're blasting the playfield with fluorescent light.
Things are. And when you're in nighttime, you can play these modes, that are prophecy modes. If you're in daytime, then you can battle harvesters.
That's an excellent question, Hudson. I don't know. I haven't seen any other pinball manufacturers do it. I can't imagine that is something that they own a license or trademark for, because it is existed on games well before this, as Roller Coasters pointed out with Circus Voltaire. I think it probably has more to do with, like, it would be hard for Stern and other pinball manufacturers to design that into their games now, whereas Barrels of Fun designed it into their games from the beginning. So that's just kind of their, like, you know, mark, their identifier. Somebody on Reddit complained that they couldn't see the video footage and that I talked too much in the corner. So let me know if you guys want to see more full screen versus less full screen. It's also going to be better quality if you go and watch this later. So if you're here to hear me gib gab over it, I imagine. And if you are here, thanks for being here.
The game has a lot of ball pass.
If you're not here, then you don't know that I'm telling you that you're not here.
The ball can return to the player.
You know?
And the blue and the yellow that you see on the screen, that's you collecting resources. Anytime you pick up resources, and resources typically come from shooting spinners.
What's up, Brass League?
The other one that's here.
It's a necessary evil. So here you can see the game aspects subject to change pending licensor approval. So this, yeah, I think I must have put the streamer shout out layer is not above what it needs to be. Frame 2. Yeah, we'll fix that later. Anyway, so what I was going to say here, because their assets aren't approved, you can tell their lighting system isn't fully integrated and stuff yet. This game is not near release. There's a reason they haven't talked about release date. I would put it at least 2 months away. And that's for like the early versions that are probably not going to be
from the right side of the
full
to the left side.
Code experience.
And I have to
we'll see. That's speculation. But I would put I would put money on it based on the fact that they don't even have a license or approval yet for the assets. These games aren't going out anytime soon.
When you're battling the harvester, as it was in the movies, you want to take out all the defenses, and then once you can take out all the defenses of the harvester, you go right in and try to kill it. Also, we're talking about the thing on
in terms
the right,
of how long does it take Labyrinth to break, or how long did it take them to manufacture? I don't think that's a fair metric, just because, well, come on, Labyrinth was their first game. They probably didn't have any of their logistics pipeline in place. You know, now that this is their second game, and if I was a pinball manufacturer, I would save whatever I was really going to do for a game to be my second game after you work out the kinks of all the production issues and all the workflow problems. You know, they have all their resources in line now. Like, this is like not a challenge for them.
Mini wizard modes and your final boss.
I want to see them make Dune, so I'm over the moon right now, over the Muad'Dib moon, Snake Moon, or the third, whatever. I'm trying to make a Dune reference. Totally dropping the ball. The proverbial pinball.
The harvesters are in the day, and the modes at night.
So Sid asked if I'm more excited about Dune or King Kong. And initially I would say I was more excited about Dune, and then I saw King Kong, and now I am 50-50 just busting a whole big ol' Arrakis nut. I couldn't be happier. They're both amazing, and my ass is ready. Give me that prolapsed worm, have that monkey beat me to death. I'm super stoked.
And then come back and forth between them. And then
gotta play him for sure. I've been talking to literally everybody that went to Stern's event. Here, he's going to talk about the modes and the stuff here, so we're gonna pause it there, especially because I'm talking about King Kong. Everyone that I've talked to has said that King Kong is absolutely as good a game, if not better, than Godzilla in its current state, and that's some pretty big That's some pretty big statements.
Wow.
Yeah. So they say it's insanely fun. The flow on it is incredible. Like it's nonstop goodness. So, you know, oh man, I said my anus was ready for both of these games and 7 people left. I guess they aren't ready for both these games. Womp,
The two main wizard modes, the Bell Jareth and the Goblin City.
Okay, so he's talking about, this is something else that's important to point out. So these are the alternate back glasses here for Labyrinth, and this is the one that the game ships with on the right. And they talk about how they're going to they're going to release an alternate back glass later in this video, which is great because I don't want to look at Timothée Chalamet at all. Like that's,
And then you can say, well, there are other multiple.
I would be happy to not look at him at all for the rest of my life.
4 progressive wizards that occur whenever you finish.
Okay, I'm going to rewind. This is where he's talking about the wizard modes for the game.
And then you can say, well, there are other multi-balls, but those are the 3 wizards. Plan here is to have 4 progressive wizards that occur whenever you finish spelling Dune, and you'll need 16 Dune letters. You can get them in more than the regular ways. Like you get one for winning a mode, you get one for beating a harvester. You can get them from other things like performance in multi-ball or a random award or surviving the pain box. So there's going to be at least 16 ways, like there were 13 ways to get orbs in Labyrinth. But I don't expect very many players to get all the way through Dune 4 times. I want players to get all the way through Dune at least once, some of the time.
Okay, so what he's saying here is that you can, similar to Labyrinth, where you could earn Orbs of Gareth, which is how you progress through to get to the wizard modes in that. You can do certain events in the game and they will give you a, right? I would listen, Bowen should do Dune, right? You can earn letters of Dune by completing certain objectives, just like he said. When you spell Dune, then you are qualified for one of the many wizard modes that are listed there. So that's like what each of these horizontal things are. So you spell Dune, you unlock one of these horizontal things. You spell Dune, you get the next one. You spell Dune, you get the next one. So that seems to be what the progression is. And then once you finish the last one, it sounds like there is a ultimate final wizard mode. That's, to me, what they're planning on doing for ultimate wizard mode progression. I doubt that all 4 of these will be in at launch, and probably only one of them, but that's speculation, for sure.
That's winning 4 things.
Hey, my name is Jonathan.
So this is the playfield artist?
Jonathan Bergeron. Like I'm French Canadian, so I'm known as Johnny Crap. I did the artwork on that Dune project. And
on that Dune project?
Yeah, it's been
that Dune project that we're watching.
For the last, let's say, like almost 2 years, on and off.
So wild to hear that they've been working on Dune for 2 years. So just to put that in perspective, right? Let's take a look. When did... So they pronounce turquoise in it a little bit, and he pronounces it turquoise. That's pretty awesome. Pretty big fan of that. So let's look. I'm looking up when Labyrinth came out right now. 2023. So that means that Barrels of Fun had started production, or at least conceptualizing, getting the Dune IP before or right as Labyrinth hit market, which is good. And the reason that's good is that it means that Barrels of Fun was planning on making more pinball machines immediately instead of waiting to see if Labyrinth did good.
Do some artwork
which
on
means
Dune.
that they must have investors,
Obviously,
which means that they have
Sam
financial
plays an
security,
integral
which means
role in
that
it.
for
Do
someone
you
who's
find that,
interested in buying a
a
pinball
challenge? You're like,
machine
okay, how do I
and
make
wants their
Sam?
company to be around to support it, unlike other companies, Arrakis, American Pinball, then that's good. That should be a company that you should want to support.
And interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Like I was actually working on Labyrinth at the time when he told me, like, like we're probably gonna have the Dune license. Would you be interested in working on that? And like being, like I said, like I'm French Canadian. Denis Villeneuve is from like my.
Also, I
little
love his
piece of
wedgehead
land
shirt.
up there in Canada.
You don't know wedgeheads.
So,
They're
and I was super
specific
excited 'cause,
period
like, I kinda
of
love the
EM
movies.
pinball machines that have a very specific shape.
Sand, yeah, like the first thing you think about is like, brown and yellows and
That's right,
beige
Swizzle.
tan,
What's up, man? Good to
like
see
that's
you.
the color palette you're working with. But in the movie, like he uses a lot of the oranges. And
See, I don't know that, but I do know
turquoise,
wedgeheads. They're dope pinball
blues,
machines.
He plays a lot with that. So basically, I started.
Did I say
with-
lasagna? Oh no, that's a laser gun. Whoops. Kind of. I mean, they're contractually obligated to release Cuphead, even though Cuphead has not seen any light of day.
A lot of
We'll see.
sand.
What's up? What's going on, Raymond? Good to see
And
you.
then I pulled it back.
We're
and I
looking
tried
at
to
the
make it,
35-minute
move, in the
behind the
movie,
scenes video that COOLTOY put out about Dune, and they go through everything. They talk about the shots. They talk about the rule set. They talk about the artwork. They talk about everything. Speaking of new shirts that I could own, where's my Flipper Room shirt? I got a dope ass Flipper Room shirt. I'm totally gonna wear it on stream next. Anyways, well, you'll have to wait till then. God damn it, Sid, the camera likes you better. Cover your face. I'm streaming. There we go. Okay.
they say like sand gets everywhere, you know. So like I was
what's
trying
up,
to
Greg?
place
Good to
it
see you,
in
my dude.
places where like it was coming in over the play field.
Swizzle
Like
Fish's
basically
curry
there's
ketchup.
a play field under it, and then the sand is starting to take more and more space. And
It's evident in the inserts. You've got spots where
Oh, awesome,
Yeah.
man.
artwork
That's
that actually
amazing.
covers your insert.
Super
yeah, I
jealous.
was like, because it was.
This is kind of neat. So, for all the people that are hating on the artwork for being brown, he talks a lot about, like, it's a sand planet for one. What did you want it to be? Neon pink and purple and blue? There's a game for that. It's Kong. However, in this particular one, he's talking about like all the ball paths. Remember how I talked about yesterday or the day before about one of the reasons that I really liked the playfield design on this game is that it's very like UI implied, right? And you can see here that there's like ball path lanes that kind of implied trajectories. This here is the Harkonnen harvester destruction. And not only does it come out of the pipe pop bumper, which is where all the sand starts, it then travels up into the sandworm, into the shot that you need to hit. So there's a lot of implied like what you should be doing in the playfield artwork, which is a pretty good fundamental UI thing. But it goes more than that. Like he does a lot of details, and they're talking right now about the sand over the targets, making it look like the ball path has been running there, and that the sand from the mountains in the back are kind of like dripping down into the kind of blue color play field.
So like I was trying to
it's a good
place it in
detail. This is
places
somebody who
where,
took
like-
care. They didn't just make
like
it
it was
brown
coming-
because they were lazy and didn't know what they were doing. Like this is a smart planned layout. Also ball pitting right here in before people start fucking claiming that pinball machines should be able to prevent ball pitting. It just happens. Get over it.
And in over the play field. Like basically there's a play field under it, and then the sand is starting to, take more and more space. And
It's evident in the inserts. You've got spots where you've
Yeah.
got artwork that actually covers your insert.
yeah, I was like, because it was thumpers. Like, so I'm like, let's take those thumpers and like put them in the sand, So
Isn't it cute the way he says
so that was
thumper?
fun for that. Like,
Wait till
you
he says
see sand
turquoise.
like coming down in front of certain inserts to dropping off.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We can see what the 4 wizard modes are going to be. You're looking at Battle of Arrakis. You're looking at the Fall of Siege Tabor, Liberate Arrakis, and Voice from the Outer World. Pretty neat. Yeah, and we're also looking at it from so far away. I mean, look, you can even see there's one of that little dust rat or whatever mouse from the second film,
So
first film. I don't know.
yeah, like
One of the
I
movies.
tried to play with it. Like it's and I wanted to make sure too that we saw the ball path.
There's a lot of games that have the
and
wizard mode
use
listed on the
them,
playfield, Joe. Come on, you know that.
Bringing
Ghostbusters
sand
has
over
it.
it. But
That's correct. Those are the mini wizard modes. And then
also
when you
using-
beat all 4, so Joe, if you missed it, here, let me reel back real quick. So the way that this works for their wizard modes is you collect Dune letters like you collect orbs in Labyrinth. So by completing certain objectives, you are awarded a Dune letter. And when you spell Dune, it gives you one of the wizard modes. And these are progressive wizard modes, they said. So I'm guessing you start with Battle of Arrakis and then go on to the Fall of Siege Tabor. I mean, these are kind of in order from the film storyline. So spell Dune, do a mini wizard mode. Spell Dune, do a mini wizard mode. So that's how that works. Again. Oops, I'm
With
clicking on
gravity,
OBS.
so,
No wonder it's not making the thing go.
yeah, like I tried to play with it. Like it's and I wanted to make sure too that we saw the ball path and use them. Bringing sand over it, but also using like the ball path, like the ball just passed by, and it's dragging the
I
sand.
really like
Yeah,
that you can
like-
get
yes,
into
like
that
line.
shot here. So look at this. This shot
Like the
just
ball just
behind
passed
the
by.
scoop here. You can go into the scoop. You can knock into the scoop through this two-way gate here. You could lift your flipper up to go into it by this way. There's just, and they'll talk about it later where they use magnets and whatever post stops on ramps and stuff to control the like direction of the ball. Like this is definitely a game. Like, do you know how Labyrinth looked like pretty simple initially with its playfield layout, but the more that you shot the shots, the more it kind of like was like, oh wow, like this shit can really go around in different ways. You know, ramps lifted up underneath, you could fall in behind things, it would divert stuff so it wouldn't go down. There was a captive ball on the left side. Like there was just a lot of like, interesting ball motion. And I think that's what's going to be different about this game than Kong, where Kong is like, the layout is very obviously there. It's fast, it's flowy, it's Owen-y, whereas this one has a lot of like more surprise motion
like
between shots that you make.
To give the
Which is
player, visual cues on where to aim and shoot.
Yeah,
It's nice.
that's kind of the direction.
I don't think the day one code's going to be good on this, based on the fact that they're still waiting for approved assets from
the path. There's like a
studio,
a dune like terrain kind of topography, I think like you call that. It's a lot of fun. I tried to break it out too, like in the middle.
Also, if he
like,
says turquoise and I missed it, we got to rewind.
like,
So
bring
shout
some
out,
life into
shout
it.
out to turquoise.
And it's like a different like view to the rest of the playfield.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
how
It
I understand
draws
that too.
The person's eyes upwards because we got this kind of like downward perspective
Yeah,
starting
for sure.
here.
Yeah.
It's great.
And I brought like, when I was working on the plastics and the stuff that goes around it, like I wanted to make sure that like I had some graphic elements too in there. Stuff that they used to like,
that's
we had
definitely true. I didn't know they
guides,
didn't
so,
have
like,
auto
I
updates.
based myself like off what they had. So like bringing some line work and like the apron is basically based on the mural that's in the movie. At some point, Paul like walks in front of it. So
that's neat. I don't know if you heard that, but so the apron here is based on the mural that's
it was a lot
in
of fun to work
whatever Caldor.
And then the
I
back
can't remember what the name of their home planet is. Someone can probably
see our stars. our
yeah, I
heroes
really
and
had to push
fact
myself
check me on
this
that one. I guarantee someone will.
Like I don't do characters like that as much.
I can't stand this
I really
back
had
glass.
to push the like the
I cannot
definition of, like,
stand it.
The finish of it.
What's up, goons?
Like the rendering, there's a lot more rendering than I usually do. I left it a bit looser on the clothing, just because like it's a bit less important to like make it really.
Yeah, it's just not good. It's not his fault. Like you can tell clearly that the studio was just like, okay, all the characters need to be represented on here, and it needs to look like the movie poster. Like you can like kind of hear the conversation that they probably had with the studio, and they were like, sure. Yeah, if you want to have a movie poster on your game, it's not that bad. But I don't want a movie poster on my pinball machine. If I get a movie poster, I want it on the wall. So
Zendaya looks cool.
yeah, Zendaya does look cool. So does Paul's mom, which is the Benny Gesserit over here.
Yeah.
It's funny that they put Baron Harkonnen in the back over there. So like apparently the story on the pinball machine is that you would play as the Fremen and you're trying to fight the Harkonnen. So you would think that there would be more Harkonnen and Fremen action on the back glass, but
I wanted it to be as close as possible. to all
Javier's
the
head looks like a
likeness.
sticker.
I
So
had like some photo material
there's an
to
alternate
work
back
on,
glass coming
but
out.
then,
And like I showed earlier in the stream,
matter of, like,
they showed the Labyrinth one,
working the
which had,
brushes,
a bunch of
brushes over it.
Jim Henson Muppets on it, which is way cooler.
And then you've got a lot of
Right,
light
yeah,
and dark
that would have made more
visual
sense to me.
imagery that's
But we'll see what the
represented,
alternate
not
back
only the
glass is.
glass,
That's
but,
not in production.
Yeah, for sure.
now.
Like
They
yeah,
haven't-
the whole machine.
They say it's coming,
basically,
but
like,
they don't
on
have a
one side it's
timeline.
kind of like the night time, and on the other side it's a bit more of the daytime.
Heck no, Muppets are awesome.
So I kept that all through the game. Like even the art blades are like different on each side to represent the night and day.
same thing.
Because whenever you hit the spinners too, like you see the
Son of a-
lighting, it plays with the artwork that's in there too, and like really like helps the player like realizing that they're going through like cycles like that.
Hi, I'm Phil Grimaldi.
this is the
rules
other
designer
coder?
at Barrels of Fun. Coming up with the rules for a game
Slash
is-
designer.
or for IP as deep as Dune has a lot of challenges. I mean, there's a reason why just adapting this to film is a big challenge. So trying to be true to the vision of the Dune films and
So, other than this dumb highlight that's there, this looks awesome. Like this pinball machine has so much depth to it. Like, for example, I remember the first time I had, because when I got back into pinball, I hadn't played Godzilla. Like, I have been out of it for many years before being like, yo, it's time to be a streamer and do a whole pinball thing. I remember going up to the pro version of Godzilla in Vegas at the Pinball Museum and going up to it, and it's just like, it's flat. It's just flat, two-dimensional. Like, everything in a lot of the Stern games really is flat, and then they try to like imitate that it's not by having layers of things. This feels like multi-dimensional in a way that I don't think a lot of games are. And obviously so much of that has to do with the giant fucking 3D sculpted mountain in the background. But you know, their ramps are really all over the place. It doesn't feel cheap. And stop hating on the artwork. Like, this is not very brown and orange. Like, there is so much deliberate color on here. So picking, what's up, CNK? How's it going? Right? Bye. I'm doing it. I've already purchased both. I've fully paid for both my both Dune and King Kong. Anyways, so I have an art degree. That means nothing, but I am going to use a little bit of what color theory classes taught us in terms of design, right? So you can tell here that they picked 3 primary tone palettes, and that was going to be the design for the entire game. And those are the teal, the kind of orangey red, and the brown. So that is the accent deliberate color that they picked for the entire game. And that's smart to not overload. Like King Kong, which has, yeah, well, you are on a pinball podcast. So which one of us is really the nerd? Both. I have a neck brace on. I'm a pinball clown talking about Dune the pinball machine. Like, anyways, so you have the 3-color palette to keep it from overloading from color overload, and also to use that color information to tell information on the playfield, which is great. You can tell they used red inserts to stand out, but still be inside of a complementary colors of this world, right? So the complementary color to blue is red. So this is a way of having accents that are on the playfield that work in the color palette, but also stand out. And it's smart. And all of the people that are hating on this machine for being bad artwork they're just wrong. I'm sorry.
Making sure that we're able to capture the essence.
You can have your opinion and not like it, but to say that it is bad artwork is objectively incorrect.
I think we've done an excellent job of doing that. We've translated that vision, put it into the game, and made it a really compelling gameplay experience. There's a lot of just amazing moments in here that are kind of like pinball first. Like, it really captures a lot of the, you know, these moments where, oh my gosh, that just happened, and that kind of magic that only pinball can provide. And it only,
I don't know if this is intentional too, but the design and the characterization of these of the characters on the front here feels very much like Dune 2000 or like early 90s the VGA adventure game. And you can tell because they have this like skeuomorphic like art style for the buttons. Like skeuomorphic is like this like fake pseudo 3-dimensional kind of like highlighting drop shadow stuff. But it looks very like yeah, it looks like a 90s VGA adventure game. And I mean that in the most like complimentary of ways. I like it better than the dumb Shalamat on my glass. Shamalama Ding Dong. Timothy Shulamutu. Shamalat.
So much packed into here. There's so
however
much.
The fucking. Hey, look, it's a big old.
The IP in general. We did our best to honor everything that's in here. We're all like huge Dune fans. I'm a huge Dune nerd. So this is such a dream come true for me to be able to do this, and gosh, just the end result, as you're seeing, is just stunning.
That's another. Speaking of branding, son of a bitch. This is another one of my favorite comments that a lot of the pinball haters have been making up there. They're like, why did they pick Dune? You know why they picked Dune? Because they like Dune. He just said it. I'm a huge Dune fan. It's not like they were like, hey, you know what shitty theme we should pick that no one will buy? Dune. Like, no, obviously they picked a theme that they wanted to make. So if you're a pinball person and you're like, I can't believe they picked Dune, why? The answer is because they wanted to.
So proud to be part of this team.
So let's talk about the pinball moments that you alluded to. So you got a couple of firsts in here for sure. Obviously, you can't have Dune without a sandworm.
Swizzle, go on Facebook. The
So
Facebook
this sandworm,
army
like, the mechanism
of
itself
haters is
an
Team
engineering
Kong for
feat.
sure.
It can do so many different things. So there's basically, it has a magnet in the center. It can grab the ball. That's, one common in pinball, but it can grab the ball. It can rise up out of the playfield. It can drop it.
I'm
onto
actually
the
excited for
wire form.
Cuphead.
Wow, that's wild.
American pinball can't make a good
You
pinball
can eat it
machine.
in
So
various different stages. So
Sorry.
you can eat it when it's down
Sorry,
low.
AP.
So you can just grab the ball, eat it. It can rise up and eat it, like kind of envelop the ball as it's going. It can rise up, then eat it. So there's all sorts of different kind of ways that we can capture certain moments in the.
okay, first off, Swizzle, let's address that. The video that the three guys did at Stern. First off, those aren't just three guys. That's Jamie Burchell, who's a super sweetheart. He's such a nice guy. Okay, that's Retro Ralph, who is fairly new to pinball and absolutely loves it. And the third guy is Kale C from Electric Bat, who runs probably one of the best pinball locations you could possibly go to. And don't be mean to them because they gave me a shout out on that stream and I super appreciate it. So you shut your whore mouth, Swizzlefish. You shut your whore mouth!
rules or film that we're trying to emphasize. And it can also turn into a bash toy as well. So we can capture a ball, hold it on there.
I mean, to
rise
be
it
fair,
up,
they're there
and then
to
you
sell
can
Kong
hit,
for
the
Stern.
worm
They
as
weren't
it's
invited
up,
to Stern to go shit all over the
out of
game, you know?
playfield. So
Which I would trust them to give an honest
a
opinion.
deceptively
So-
simple and hidden mechanism that comes out of the playfield and does all sorts of different cool
Yeah,
things.
because your top-down view, we're just looking at it. It's like, oh, okay, it's a magnet with a core.
Yes. And
I
then-
know!
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I can imagine.
Digitally Incorrect, one, welcome to the stream. I've never seen you before. Thank you so much for hopping on. And to your point, I completely agree. You know, one thing that people haven't said at all? Everybody's making fun of Stern, like, hey, make a thing that's not a movie. Like, they didn't do King Kong the movie. They did King Kong. So there's your non-movie IP. And of course, like, people are hating on it, mostly because of some strong decisions that they made in terms of the art design and packaging and whatnot. But, yes, King Kong is a movie, but the King Kong pinball machine is not a King Kong movie pinball. So there you go. You kind of got somewhere in the middle of like a movie and original IP from Stern. Same thing with D&D. Like, that's not based off the movie. It is, D&D. By the way, Hired Goons has already said that he's going to come back on the stream, and he knows basically everything about King Kong. So expect Hired Goons, whether he wants to or not, to be on stream playing maybe King Kong, depending on how long it takes, or maybe some other game talking about King Kong, because you know where King Kong exists, the land of Mordor.
Imagine a lot of new people who maybe not familiar with this game play this for the first time and will be extremely shocked and surprised when some of this stuff happens.
Goons, that has everything to
the
do
kind
with the
of thing you
fact
wanna
that
see in
they're
a pinball movie, because
making
that's the thing
a
that only
homage
pinball
to
can
the
provide,
1990
that kind
Data
of
East King
surprise
Kong
and
game that never came out.
that those moments where you're just like, holy crap, that ball just did that thing, or the game just did that.
So we've got
What's up, Bing Ninja
all the
Man?
assets from both movies. How do you roadmap that when it comes to, coming up with rules, coming up with modes, what to leave out, what to cut in? How do we do this without overloading, a player's senses?
Right, and if you're familiar with the films, it's a very political, and there's a lot of like strategy and politics and abstract things that are in this, which makes Dune such like a great story and compelling movie. You can't do all that in a game, and it's pinball.
Okay, so this is exactly what I said yesterday. Remember when I was like, people are like complaining because they don't like Dune the movie? The pinball machine isn't Dune the movie. The backglass, the modes are going to have these action sequences of special effects from it and loosely glue a storyline together. It's not going to be Timothée Chalamet talking for fucking 2 hours for 1/4 of the first film, to his mom. It's just not. So people that are concerned that the game is going to be like boring because they don't like Dune, it's just like, dude, you're not watching the movie. You're watching the highlights of special effects in an interactive physics playfield. And that's exactly his point here. What's up, Fight Zombie? What's going on? Welcome back.
Well, you can't do nuance in a pinball machine. So what you need to do is distill it down to what are the things that are tractable, what are short objectives that a player can do in the game, and like what's going to be a repeatable thing. So like if you put a mech in a game, you put all this stuff into, or like all this engineering into a particular mechanism, you don't want it to be a one-trick pony that does one thing. It can't just be one scene. What's something that you can do over and over again? And in this game, you're playing from the perspective of the Fremen. So you are fighting against the Harkonnen, you know, and Lisan al-Gaib comes, the Messiah comes at this point, but you're fighting against the Harkonnen, and one of the main objectives in the game is defeating all of their harvesters, disrupting their spice production. So we have another amazing mechanism in the rear left corner of the game representing the Harkonnen harvesters.
Yeah, so this thing's really cool. So you can smash this guy with the butthole ramp, which let's see if we can get there. So if you making this shot up here, this ramp kind of angles up at the Harkonnen harvester. And I think you can launch into it and hit it. They talk about it being a bash toy, and then the like internal door of it kind of like explodes open and close. So pretty neat that they hide. And then there's an explosion that happens in the back corner. Now that I've seen this in Kong, what are my thoughts on the layouts versus this versus that? So I mentioned this a little bit, by the way. What's going on, Proxy? Thanks for jumping on. So I think that what's great about this game and what's great about Kong and what's probably going to be great about Harry Potter based on Jersey Jack's layout stuff is that each one of these explores a different idea. Kong is about fast-paced, heavy flow, chaining shots in a most kind of unique transfer of playfield action. And what I mean by that is like you've got your mini flipper in the upper left of Kong that you can shoot kind of behind a ramp, and it loops up and around and feeds to the right flipper, which then you can immediately, if you time it right, hit up the biplane ramp, which then will spin it around and feed it back to the other flipper. And you can go back and forth with that. If you fail that on the left, it immediately feeds down to the left flipper, which you can see in the video, they're hitting the spinner in the middle, which puts it back up to that left flipper, which then you could start doing the transfer again. So the game is fast. Hitting the right loop sends it up into Kong's like fist punch, hammers it back at you. So, you know, in a very Elwyn style, like that playfield is about flow and about fast shit. To me, Barrels is going the different direction. It's where I wanted D&D to go, and it didn't. And it's more where Labyrinth went, which is you have a playfield which looks, at least at face value, familiar. It has a little bit of like kind of, I don't know, maybe like Whitewater people have been saying. But the shots seem like they're there. And then as you start making the shots, how the ball interacts and returns on them is just different than what you expect. Sometimes it will loop around. But like, look, on a Stern game, you see a left orbit, you hit the left orbit, it comes back around the right. In general, right? Not every Stern game, but just in general, that's the expected behavior from it. Barrels loves to fuck with you. You shoot the left orbit, and there's a magnet that grabs it, drops it down one way, or there's a diverter that sends it up a different way. They talk about a magnet feeding it. You can go into that seach on the right there, and it can come out like 3 or 4 different ways. So I think that the Barrels game is going to feel more like an adventure, for lack of a shitty buzzword. It's going to be more of an exploratory pinball, but it also still has enough space in the lower third to actually have regular pinball mechanics. You know, my complaint with D&D is the dragon target was so close up front that, you know, they were saying like, oh, it's no problem hitting it. It's not going to center drain immediately. It totally center drains, and it totally outlane drains constantly. So I think there's a lot of more interesting exploration in Dune. I think that Kong is going to be flowy as crazy shit and in the best possible way. And we don't know about Harry Potter. I'm going to guess it's going to be incredibly over-designed. I'm guessing like it's going to be Wizard of Oz 2.0 because, you know, they threw the kitchen sink in, half the shit didn't work. Like, I think it's going to be over-designed, and people are either going to love it or they're going to hate it. But that is speculation. But that's my opinion on what I think that these two play fields kind of offer.
What's something that you can do over and over again? And
of course it is. Jersey Jack loves RGB. RGB Jack in the house.
Lisan al-Gaib comes, the Messiah comes at this point, but you're fighting against the Harkonnen, and one of the main objectives in the game is
that's a pretty good example, Pink Ninja Man.
Disrupting
we'll go with that too.
Production. So we have
I know what you meant.
Another amazing mechanism in the rear left corner of the game representing the Harkonnen harvesters.
Don't ever cross your JJP streams.
So you'll be defeating these harvesters as you go to try and disrupt spice production. This is going to get, you know, more and more difficult.
So I don't think they show it here, but in the other promo video for it, there is footage of it. Like when you bash I'm moving my mouse on the wrong screen. When you bash the Harkonnen Harvester here, the LCD screen here, when you defeat it, has an explosion that shoots out like you are destroying it, in sync with it, like shattering. Super cool stuff. Ah, you found the mural. Awesome. Let's pull that up. There you go. Cool. You love to see it. Sorry, that's not centered. I just can't do anything about it. And I don't care. Anyways, that's a cool ass mural, and that's really neat. Good find, Double Flip.
As you go to try and
thank you for doing that.
Spice production, this is going to get, more and more difficult as you go on. Obviously, the first harvester is.
The explosion is cool. I mean, it looks a little bit like a stock, render,
awesome
or they rendered it in
with the ball as you destroy these. Not
Real
only
flow,
does the
or whatever explosion physics simulation
have this kind
software
of
they were going to do,
intercollapsing action to it when you hit it, but we're making.
I completely agree.
LCD
Casual
backlash behind it.
Stop being a hater.
Having explosions
Reddit
come
or
out.
Facebook.
And this gives you way more kind of immersion into what's
Plus,
actually
who doesn't
happening.
want like a big old wormy dong on their pinball machine? Like, come on, look, you get 2 dongs, 1 pinball machine here. This one comes up, and then this one, and then look, there's a bunch of holes to use. Like, this pinball machine's got a lot going on.
So, like, this is
Hell
like
yeah.
Medieval Madness 2.0, kind of that moment when you defeat the
castle.
castle. This is like that. You defeat the harvester, and you get this big explosion, and you want to do it again. And that's how we can take a very complicated story and structure, but we can build pinball rules around it where you have this repeatable objective. It's it's fun to do. You want to do it again. It gets harder and harder as you go, and it's compelling.
I'm Eric Priepke. I'm the programmer.
We'll get back to Eric real quick, but something I talked over this too much in the beginning. Where we were 2004. Remind me of that. 2004. Okay, so when you ride the worm here, one of the modes that they talk about in the beginning is that it lights 2 different shots, left and right, and on the back glass here, it tells you, I'm fucking moving my mouse on the wrong side. There we go. You ride the worm, and then it lights 2 shots, and it tells you got to turn it like left or right to turn the worm. And you need to make the corresponding shot to like pull the worm in the direction that you want in order to successfully ride it. So I think that's a neat way of expanding the mode and having it feel like you're, experiencing. I mean, that's a really important part of modes, especially when they're based on IPs. You want the experience to feel like you're remembering that part of the film, even though this film's so long that nobody remembers it, because I can't remember past 15 hours of film footage. And after experiencing 15 hours of Dune, I just am a little burned out. But I do love the universe and the world building. I don't know, Proxy, and I'm glad that, Labyrinth had similar scoring range. Like, if you think of the scoring kind of like pattern that they have set, Stern is about 1 billion, right? Like 1 billion is a good score on games that were released from 2015 to 2025, the last 10 years or so of Stern. Labyrinth had a similar thing where it seemed like a couple $100 million. Raymond, are you still here? Raymond will know what a good score is on Labyrinth, since he probably has every grand champion at Ace Gogi. But if you are still here, or if somebody does know a lot about Labyrinth, because I've only played it 15, 20 times, not enough to say I know what a good score is on it. But I would imagine that their scoring range is going to be in the same vicinity.
Do all that in a game.
Where were we? 2004, right? See, look, I do have a little bit of a memory.
In a pinball
California
machine.
hasn't burned it out
So what you need to do
completely.
is distill it down to have this repeatable objective. It's fun to do. You want to do it again. It gets harder and harder as you go, and it's compelling.
I'm Eric Priepke. I'm the programmer for Dune. A lot of complicated stuff to have to juggle in this game with the various sections.
So this is the sequence that I was talking about where I was like, there's no light show. I actually glad that I'm rewatching it with you. By the way, I took off my dumb clown collar because I can't take it anymore. Oh shit, ads. Anyways, you'll notice that there's not a lot of light interaction modes when the balls hit stuff. Thank you, Brass. I appreciate you stopping by. By the way, everybody go check out Brass Leaf's channel. If you want to do some virtual pinball or pinball effects challenges, he hosts them along with Skullbot. Go check it out. Don't be lame. Get in there.
It can do more than one thing.
So, here, like he's hitting loop shots. He hit a ramp and not a single thing happened. Look at this, right?
More than one thing. The lift ramp and diverter. And
he made the ramp shot. Not a single light went off. So this game is not done. This game is not close to being done. And this footage is right from the press event that happened 4 days ago. When was it?
Rather complicated
Recently,
piece of
very
machinery.
recently.
So there's a lot to juggle, but it's also a lot of opportunity to do a lot of really cool things.
Exactly. And with those opportunities, we have certain things. We've got
Also, they have drop
light
targets.
rail
That's
system
awesome.
now.
Drop targets are
We've got
great.
a
Keith loves
fully
drop targets. I love drop targets. If you don't
interactive-
like drop targets,
Yeah,
why are you in
system.
pinball?
Yeah,
Because
some
drop
of the-
targets
like
are
some of
way
the
cooler
add-on
than
lights you
any
can
kind
get
of
to give you
stand-up.
More light on the playfield.
Shut up,
But
D&D. No
the
one gives a
ability to do
shit.
full RGB
You're
shows
gone, dude.
throughout
You're
is a lot
gone. Look
more.
at
Like,
this. You're
some of those
look.
add-on
Watch
ones
what
can
you're
just
gonna get
flash
replaced.
color. We
Look
can
at what you're getting
entirely
replaced with.
control every single LED.
You should have
so that we
been.
can do a lot of
You
really
should have
cool
been more
effects.
complete. And
When the
I'm mad at you,
harvester
Dragon,
gets
for never
shot
working.
At the end of the battle, this whole rail lights up
Jerk.
blue like the laser beam from the movie, and then there's a little bit of glow along the rail when it blows up to go along with all the other screen and other LEDs inside the toy.
And like you said, it's the little details, like a small section of the lights.
Heck
is
yeah, right?
spectacular. It's not a just a
Genius. What are your
blinking
ballots,
Right,
man?
right.
What are your 3 ballots
in
with
the-
drop targets?
In the survive mode, when you're in the thopter, there's a constant forward.
Okay, so this is really cool. I'll go back to full screen in a second, but right now this is they're talking about this mode is they're stuck in the helicopter. I love that he calls it a helicopter, and now I'm doing it. He's stuck in the ornithopter, and yeah, he's sitting on the back of this plane. This is the only time I ever want to see Timothy Chalamet in the goddamn on the LCD screen. They're trying to escape the ornithopter, and they're traveling at night. So look at the effect.
The lights is
Yeah.
changing color. It's not just a blinking
Right,
rail.
right. Yeah, and
You got your light show going on. You've got your trim on it. Like this looks so much more exciting. And I think Barrel's really shot themselves in the foot by not having more of this light presentation ready for the press event. Because everybody saw Dune and they were like, wow, this looks really interesting. Like the playfield's really cool, but it doesn't seem like it's that flowy and that exciting. And so much of that is carried on with the fucking light show and the sound. Whereas what did Kong have a ton of? Kong had their music set, the sound effects are big, and they had a ton of light show. When we did the breakdown of the Kong thing, I specifically pointed out like they were hitting shots. Like it kept a good example. There's a plunger moment where you need to like use the plunger as a skill shot to hit the spider target on Kong. And we got 30 seconds of ass. I'm sorry, the commercials are running. I feel bad for anybody who's not a subscriber. I am willing to stop the goddamn stream in its fucking right now and hold on until this dumb 30 seconds is over so nobody misses anything. We're going to listen to ass. Here we go. It's ass time. What up, Divisible? Yeah, we'll talk about Sheen's games. Okay, the ads are done. Welcome back, everybody. I stopped talking until the ads were done because it's stupid that Twitch makes you watch ads. But if you don't want to watch ads, you could subscribe with your Prime sub so that you don't have to pay anything. And, I'm happy to wait anyways. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I forget. Oh, right, light show. So there's a plunger skill shot on Kong where you plunge and it has to hit the spider, and all of the lights cascade towards the spider. I mean, this is not something new in pinball. You just are familiar with them using lights to kind of send information to the player. And right, everybody was like, wow, that's so cool. If it was just him plunging over and over again and the playfield was just static and illuminated as I banged the stream deck, they would have been like, well, that's whatever. And that's what they're missing in Barrel's first exposure of this game. I think they shot themselves in the foot by not having more of the light show ready.
Because you're in the helicopter and you're flying.
It needed to be done. They knew Kong was coming out.
Forward motion on the lights to give you that we're going somewhere sort of vibe, I guess.
So when you learn about add-on features like a shaker motor, a light rail system.
Yeah, I mean, like look, he's hitting shots here, and look how lifeless the game looks in comparison to the
for a new challenge or
experience they just had with the ornithopter.
More to do is always good. Like it makes it more interesting. The challenge with programming is
What's up,
always
Scribble? Did what need to be
getting
done?
the logic to do the thing you need to do. So all the little extra toys you get to wave around and little extra effects and atmosphere
yes and no.
you can add, that stuff's like.
Jack Danger got too much heat for dressing up in costumes to do X-Men. Like, why the hell did that bother anybody? Who cares? Like, they were having a good time. And now, did you see how absolutely lifeless? Like, yeah, Kong looked amazing, but like every single person that was streaming Kong felt like they were like in timeout at the principal's office. Like they were so tired and just like drained that they were just like, yep, this is Kong. And like they let the game showcase itself, which is good, but the pinball community should not be ripping apart somebody who's trying to have fun presenting something like pinball, because pinball is supposed to be fun. And that's one of the reasons why Kong is like a bunch of ridiculous colors and all this. Like, I don't know. If you ripped on Jack Danger for dressing up in a X-Men outfit, shame on you.
Icing on the cake.
Shame on
the
you.
hard part is always the how do things layer together, and does this interrupt that? What happens when this happens if that's already happening? So being able to take a break and make an explosion happen on the back screen, or some kind of cool lighting effect with the rails, that's the fun part.
Yeah, neat. So yeah,
Hi,
you saw
Brian
the
Savage.
lifeless
I am the
game, and
Chief
then
business officer for Barrels.
oh boy, it's the suits. Everybody, the suits here to tell you about the game. Get ready for the person who has had media training and is about to be telling you how great their game is and how wonderful their partnership is with the studio.
Of fun.
What are the lessons learned from starting a company from scratch, going to Labyrinth, and then now coming out with game
Well,
number 2?
it's there's a lot, and as people always say, pinball is hard, because it is hard, because you have a plan, and oftentimes you have vendors and governments and other people that have a different plan, and so you just have to shuck and jive and change and modify what you're doing to fit whatever the situations are to make it.
Buddy,
come
nobody
out
gives a
with
shit
brand,
about your
but
marketing
to
bullshit.
Make sure that pinball people like it everywhere. That it fits what they want, that it truly has moments in the game.
So what was
If he
it like
says
working
the
with
cinematic
Legendary
experience
for the first time?
buzzword, I'm
This
so
being
fucking
game number
skipping
2,
through this
obviously you
guy's
don't
whole
have an
section.
established relationship with them.
Well, the interesting thing about Legendary is when we started development of this machine, or started after the license,
I call it?
that way, we weren't even a pinball company. We had established ourselves, but we hadn't even made a machine. So basically, because of the deck that David, my partner, made,
Oh man, I thought I fixed all those. Shit.
All kinds
Can I get it in
people
time?
here in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, are involved in the
You didn't see
occult.
anything.
It's not just the freaky people.
All right, what's important about what he said is that they hadn't even made a pinball machine yet when they were getting the license for Dune, which means that they started production on Dune before they had even released Labyrinth. And that's awesome, because that means Barrels probably has another pin in design right now. That's too bad, Johnny Button. I'm assuming that's what that means. I am very excited, and I totally get why some people aren't. And to that point, I do think a lot of that blame is because of their
Showing
poor
the process of
presentation.
how
That's
we
why
look
I
at
wanted
an
to do this
IP
behind-the-scenes
and say,
shot.
what does an
Here I am
IP
talking
mean?
over as I hit the button. That's why I wanted to make this video, because I think that there was a lot more excitement and there was a lot more interesting shit going on the playfield, which obviously we covered a lot more of in the first half of this video, than the game gives its credit for. It didn't have the pop and wow that... yes, but I think that they're not. I don't think the flippers are weak anymore. The flippers at our Labyrinth on Tilt have been replaced, and supposedly I think they're the same system that's going to be in this. And if that's the case, because I totally agree with you, Scribble, the flippers felt like soggy sandbags. Like, I don't know, they were just like soft. They don't have nearly the snap that you expect from a pinball flipper, and we'll see. We'll see.
So
never buy a
in
pinball
Dune,
machine until you
got
get to
the
play
seats.
it, unless
So
you're an
the
idiot
lead
like
has to be
me.
in here. The paint box has to be in here. The worms have to be in here. The harvester have to be in here. What does it need to represent that universe? And so when we laid out our vision for Labyrinth, and
That's
showed them how we're
correct.
doing
Oh
that,
yeah,
they
I missed
said,
that. So I mentioned that yesterday. Swizzle and Supernoid is correct. The thumper icon that is on top is a pop bumper underneath. They have a sand sculpt that goes on top of it, which is another thing I really like about Dune, is that Dune is hiding a lot of its mechanics underneath their sculpts. And it helps for making a more like, it's a world under glass, right? They're not showing you pop bumpers. No, everybody except for Johnny Button has been super stoked about the game on stream currently. They were test flippers. Felt good. Game leaning to the right made me sad. Okay, so that's good. That's okay, Johnny. Don't feel... Hey, first off, nobody shit on anybody for liking one game or the other, right? Like, this is a pinball machine. You're spending your own money. You can have any goddamn opinion you want. If you're here to hear mine or share yours, that's great. That's what this stream is all about. I think that they didn't give the best presentation for their game, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this stream, to show that I think that this game has a lot more going on for it than they did. And I'm glad COOLTOY put this video together. By the way, this is not... Barrels of Fun clearly had him shoot this and then release it. But yeah. Give Dune a chance. That's all I'm saying.
What's up, man? We're going to go with you guys, even though
Yeah, I
you
want a
haven't
prolapse
even made
anus in
a
my
single
pinball
product
machine,
yet.
too.
So that's probably the most amazing thing out of all of this is you're talking about over $1 billion franchise that put their trust in us.
No, Kevin, there is a pop bumper.
Before we had anything
There
to
is a
really
pop
show
bumper.
'em.
Here, hold on. We got to go show it. People are confused here. All right, we're at 2624. No visible pop bumpers. That's fair, yes. So the pop bumper is here. It's right underneath this guy right there. So it's kind of a little bit like, I don't know, I guess Godzilla, except on the left side instead of the right. So let's see if we can see them hit it. But this is the pop bumper. There's also some sort of magnet that flies that makes the ball flip around in the kind of like captive ball area over here.
If the game has a lot of ball pass, most of the shots have more than one way that the ball can return to the player.
Let's see if he's going to hit it. I don't
The
remember
blue
at what
and the
point it
yellow
happens,
that
but
you
you can see it
see,
just under there.
on
Anyways,
the
there is a
screen,
pop bumper.
That's you.
Let's see where we were. We were
Anytime
Deep
you pick
Skulls.
up
So looking here, we've got
All right.
the Fremen Mountains.
Let's get rid of this. The suit guy's got to go. I'm glad he's done. Okay, so Silver Ion, to that point, I was talking with Carl from IE Pinball. Carl sent me pictures of the event before they had even gone live with it, which I appreciate. Thank you, Carl. I asked him about it. I was like, dude, these shots look tight. Like, is this going to be like John Wick on a sand planet, right? And he said that the shots are not tight at all. That's Carl, Mr. Laser Flipper. But, you know, I trust his opinion.
We've got sculpts on top of sculpts. We're not dealing with just flat acrylic plastic anymore. You guys have really, set yourself apart with the sculpting details. But
Absolutely. And what I like to say is, hey, the 90s called and they want their flat plastics back.
Oh my God, 2025 called and they want somebody relatable to talk about a pinball machine instead of a dude in a suit, except not a suit and a hat. I mean, you know what I mean, man.
This doesn't, the only flat plastic facing the player is the bezel on the monitor in the back. But
Yeah, I saw that too, CNK.
So when you mold stuff, it's
I have a
called
kid.
tool. Okay.
Kids are hard,
there
man.
There are 18 different tools that some of them have multiple cavities in them.
19 if you count the guy talking.
Just to produce all the items are on this play field. So it's a lot of testing and changing. Just looking at the mountain, we had to work
zoom
very
in on the
hard
worm.
to not make that a ball trap and still look like a mountain. So the ball can't get up there and sit somewhere. It's going to roll off anywhere it is. And then of course you have to be accurate to the properties color palette. You've got the worms are different colors, the harvester, the thumpers, the sand. Not all sand is created equal. And so you've got
for clarity, I'm sure that this
items
guy's
all
just
across the
doing
playfield.
his
You've got
job.
paint
As
bombs.
fun as it
So
is
you've got
to make fun of
but
him.
the
I
good
just
thing about
can't stand.
Legendary, because they have such
Please tell me if you guys agree with this, but like, if you remember watching E3 in the past and like every goddamn like Xbox or PlayStation, Nintendo representative comes out and they're like, hey guys, we're trying to build the most cinematic experience for our cinematic experience video game. Dive into the surreal world and feel like you're actually part of the character on this cinematic experience journey. And it's like, please stop. It's a video game. Like, it's just talk about it like you're not selling it to a bunch of stock investors. Like, please. Nobody watching that wants that. BlizzCon, a great example. Hey, you know what you want to do is spend microtransactions on your phone for our shitty action RPG.
For us to go look.
I know, right? The eighth wonder of the world, this iconic blah, blah, blah. I'm making a press promo video. Wow.
And so it wasn't that hard. It just takes a while to get it right. So we also have some accessories coming. The machine will ship with just a flat plastic topper that's just kind of a placeholder. But we will have an animated topper, which I'm not going to tell you any more than that. But you've seen our other animated toppers, what they do, so you can expect what's going to happen on that.
See, like, this is fine.
But it will
At least
also
he's like
represent the
kind of
day
being
and night
relatable
cycle.
here.
It will work with the machine on that.
So when we're seeing gameplay color elements, when
it will
changes,
change. The topper will change color too.
Nice.
So
And
that
he's
will be
giving
a really
information
fun
instead of just saying like,
addition to
oh,
it.
well,
Plus,
you know,
we're
when
gonna
it's
have,
done, you can find out.
some
Blah, blah,
other
blah, blah,
molded
blah.
accessories.
So
in
I
an
appreciate
accessory
that.
Pack. I'm not going to tell you what they are right now, but they'll come with the Chris Knife shooter rod. So those will be available.
I'm not going to tell you what it is right now, but I'm going to tell you immediately what it is.
We also are working
What
on
is
alternate
happening?
back glass,
What?
so you'll have a different choice If you don't want the
Oh,
characters,
God, I don't
if you
want
want
a
more
Chalamet topper.
scenery type of thing, there'll be something different from that.
I wonder if you can get like multiple Chalamet toppers. Maybe you can get like 4 or 5 Timothy Chalamets and just like stack them all up in there. I thought the camera was over here. I don't know what I'm doing.
To increase sales, maybe.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, look, okay, here's why she's not wrong. It is a method to increase and have additional revenue. But look at it this way: like, you cannot be mad at Barrels of Fun. You are getting Invisiglass. I've already done this spiel, but we're going to do it again. You're getting side panels. You're getting Invisiglass. You're getting fucking the LED lighting system. You're getting a fucking expression system on the speakers. You're getting 5.5 or 5.25 inch drivers, preamp system. All this shit's included. And yes, the game is $1,000 more than Labyrinth, but you're getting shaker motor. Thank you. You're getting all of that, which if you were buying it through Stern as piecemeal components, you'd be spending $2,000 or more. I mean, it comes with a topper. Like, you'd be spending $3,000, $3,000, and they're giving it to you for a third of that. So for them to be like, hey, we have some accessories coming out afterwards if you want like a plunger. Great. Like, fuck it. They do, like, let them sell additional stuff for your game if you want. But the fundamentals that should be on every game, they're including. Every game should have side panels. Every game should have Invisiglass. Every game should have a fucking shaker. Every time I buy a premium from Stern, I'm fucking rolling my eyes because I need to go and buy all that stuff and then play the game. I get to play spray Windex all over a giant piece of fucking plastic just to align it. It's so annoying. You like, do that to the Pro. Why is it on the premium? Just so you can make a third tier. It's so infuriating. I hate it. I hate it.
And we'll have the topper down the road.
And I love
then,
good
of course,
speakers. I
we're
put
working
replacement
on-
speakers in
we
all my
showed
games
everybody
because
the
I like
secret
sound, obviously.
library. So just use your imagination.
I hit the button,
And I
nothing
won't say
happened.
anything like popcorn bucket. Nothing like that at all. So just think about that. It's something that it will be absolutely unique to this machine.
So you say pinball first, and yes, there is a lot of new stuff in here. But you gotta remember, I'm a pinball collector. I'm a pinball fan. So a lot of this stuff,
Callbacks.
I'm pulling back.
Ah,
to
Swizzlefish.
Things that
We've
I
moved
love in
on.
games.
Stern,
swirly ramps.
Stern is replacing my Jaws playfield. We're not gonna make fun of them for making warped playfields anymore.
Circus Voltaire, Toten, there are inspiration from a lot of these games.
Yes, I know
for
I
example,
could.
the space over here, where we have the multi-ball, the sand trap multi-ball over here. It is one of those situations of like, we had a spare space there, and what could we do? And a lot of times you'd be looking at other games. We'd go out and we'll play games somewhere, and you go, Radical. That's an amazing trick on Radical, and we have a space that we can literally fit it. But it, you can take a mech like that, but how does it integrate into the game
Yeah,
itself?
it's got to make sense for the theme, the game.
It's got to make sense. The whole point is you hide your soldiers. They hide under the sand. So the whole point, you put a ball in there, and now they're waiting to be called to the cause.
So the shit that I've been talking over here. So they have ball locks hidden around the entire playfield, which is kind of neat. So your ball locks aren't in one spot. So since you're the Fremen, you need to go hide your ball lock over here and hide your ball lock up there. So it's pretty neat. That's cute. What's up, McLean? How's it going? McLean told you to not strangle me because they need me. You guys don't need me, but I do appreciate you hanging out. I'm trying to share the pinball information to the people, You need her more than you need me. She's the one who's better at pinball anyways.
No, I'm not. Shh. Did you see your 6 billion score?
Yeah, that's true. I did put 6 billion on Ghostbusters, but there's plenty of players that can do more than that. Anyways, there was a point made earlier, Johnny. Even though Johnny's wrong, thank you, John Plunge. You know what? We're taking a break. We're pausing, so let's give you a bath. Welcome to the Cult of Pinball. The Great Pyramid appreciates only clean followers. So someone here is going to give you a bath. Send it. Except it's going to be on top of me. I'm going to be in the bath with you. Let's take a bath together. Come on, send the bath. Really? Somebody send the bath. Oh, God damn it. Dance bath.
It's a flow bath.
Anyways, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Cult of Pinball. We're hanging out. We're watching a 40-minute breakdown of Dune. Anyways, to Johnny Button's point, which he's still wrong about how Dune sucks, and he hasn't even played it yet. But he is right that the reason that pros are made is because someone needs a location game. Right? So the pros are used to beat up. You beat them up. That's what the operators buy. I know, I'm just fucking with you, man. Yeah, thank you for the follow. I hope this kid is his son. What the hell? I can't believe out of all the videos I screwed up, I didn't align bath time, like the most important video. I know, man, I'm such a creep, right? Let me get this point out. Stop hitting me. The pro machines are for operators and for people that want a pinball machine that is functional and don't have a ton of money to blow on it. That makes sense. The premiums are the advanced version of it that has mechs on it that are fancy that people want for home use. That makes sense in theory, but then you have the LE, which they do only to give an artificial value to it, and then they put all of the stuff that you should have in a pinball machine in there for you. So it's like, hey man, you want the really cool version of the game, get the premium, but you got to do all this other work if you want it to be like special like the LEs. But then it's not really special because it's not an LE and it's not like a limited amount. And then they run the LEs first on production so that people that get FOMO buy it first, like idiots, like me, like this idiot, because I want to have it on the stream for people. So what do I have to do? I'm like, am I going to wait like 3 extra months until the premiums actually go on the line or get a pro? I'm like, no. So it's exploitive in a weird way. So like, I get that all 3 of those exist. Barrels of Fun. Johnny, stop making my point before I make it. You know what? I'm going to warn him. I got to warn him for making a point before I made it. You know, God, how dare you? Oh, and I'm going to get a follow out of it. Jesus. Someone send him a creepy bath and I'll adjust the placement while it happens. I can't wait. By the way, thanks for joining the Cult of Pinball. The Great Pyramid loves clean followers. In order to that, you get a tub guy bath. Shit. I said, in order to do that, you get a tub guy bath. A tub guy is a shit. No, it's not aligned. Anyways, I'm not warning anybody. Johnny is absolutely correct. Johnny Button, thank you for making that point. Barrels of Fun includes all of the important shit that you want on a pinball machine from day one, and there's only one version of the game. I think that's incredibly consumer friendly. This hat's backwards. No, it's not. By the way, it is a Harry Potter hat. It kind of looks like I have a dune worm on my head, like this big ass hat dog. Like again, the camera is focusing on you. Stop it. It's my pinball news podcast. Get out of here.
It kind of gives you a head massage.
It is kind of giving me a head massage. Okay, anyways, sorry for the goofing off. We're here. Barrels of Fun is very consumer friendly. You can tell that they're people that really do love and care about pinball. They're a new company, so they haven't been like, oh, we've got to focus on, they probably don't have a ton of investors that they need to fucking make happy by making a shit ton of money on their games. They're doing a run of 1,000. It has all the things that you want in it. It's just, I put on a Kong outfit. Son of a bitch. Does Dune play to tame a lamb during multi-ball? What do you mean? I don't get it, CNK. Anyways, yeah, where were we? You were supposed to save your money for Harry? Yeah, no. I don't give a shit about Harry Potter. I don't give 2 fucks about Harry Potter. I said this last stream, I do care about pinball machines that are well designed and are fun to play. So if Harry Potter is a dope ass game, and I will play it. I probably won't buy it just because I do like Dune. I like the way the playfield looks. I'm excited to play it. Everyone says Kong is fucking amazing, so, you know, whatever. And it'll be I have 4 Elwins in a row now on my patio, and it fits 4 pinball machines. So I have to get another Elwin. So, you know.
One of the ideas
anyways,
is we
enough
want to
goofing.
use it as an
Let's finish
edible.
this video.
Put a soldier away in there, and then when you need to call him, you can shoot it back in there and get him out there to help you on the mode and into the war. When it comes to the toy side of it, it's like, how do we capture what the Fremen are doing and how they walk in this world? So we have the mountain over here. So, you know, this is the siege. And
yeah, well, JJP puts so much unnecessary, I mean, not unnecessary, but they over-design their game so much. They,
entry points.
you know, plus you're getting good sound systems and a large screen. I mean, I think JJP knows what their market is. They're building machines that are like
but there's
art pieces, for lack of a better word.
Behind here, and if you shoot that, it can actually come out from the back side of the mountain. And then on the other side of it is...
Okay, this is neat. Let's look at this. This is more of the stuff that I really wanted to see. So this is with the actual full mountain removed, so you can actually see the entire mech. So take a look. So they have a diverter. There's a magnet over here. There's a VUC down here. And then this ramp here can either drop out. I don't think there's a wire form that connects to this. I think it just drops down. So there's a lot of really interesting flow stuff in here. And that's, oh man, look at this. Johnny sub for real, which is amazing because normally my sugar daddy Divisible Error has to buy all my subs. So look, we got a real one. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. All right, no bath though. You already got a bath. You can't do two baths. 2 baths, 1 pinball channel? No way. So you can see all of the different stuff that they have going on here. It looks like they did cover up the magnet mech over here on the right, so you can't see how this is popping around. How's this, what'd you call it? Iron Maiden's Dune song? That's neat. So yeah, there's just a lot of pathway stuff going on over here. Pretty neat. Love it.
Is you have a lift up ramp that can lift up, and that just becomes a traditional orbit that goes all the way around. But it doesn't just go all the way around. There's actually a magnet that you can.
I mean, this whole thing needs a soundtrack. So let's play some Dune.
Actually see through the wire form. That you will grab the ball and feed that into the mountain demonetized. So there's always
because I'm playing Iron Maiden during the Dune broadcast about a pinball machine.
Upper ramp on the inside ramp here. You also can go underneath it because there's a pathway that feeds down into the battle zone in here. And there's a magnet in there, so when you trap up in there, you can collect spice. You can fight in there. You can, once you have the fork up, you can bash the ball and it'll do its own little crazy stuff in here. Plus, there's nothing more satisfying than we went on Labyrinth with the drop target with the spinner behind it. So we took it to the next level and put it.
Yeah, so that's really cool. So they're talking about how this spinner has you have a captive ball that goes in here. Look at this area right here. You fire it in there, the magnet flops it around, it stays here as a captive ball, and then you smash this shot and it shoots it through the spinner.
Labyrinth, drop target with the spinner behind it. So we took it to the next level and put a magnet in between.
Enough Iron Maiden. I can't hear the song.
So and there's nothing more satisfying when you hit that and it rips the ball. It is really, really satisfying. We also do have a stand-up post in the back of it, so we can actually stop the ball from leaving, or we also can allow the ball to come out and come up to the upper flipper, and vice versa. We can stop the ball from going in. It has optos in front of it, so we can actually tell if the ball goes in or goes out. So we can stop it in multiple positions.
Yeah, so they're talking about how easy it is for them to. Thank you, Jay Biscuity, for the follow. Welcome to the Cult of Pinball. The Great Pyramid loves clean followers, and I just adjusted bath time so it'll actually fit. Yo, send that bitch a bath. Tub guy needs to clean off this guy. Or girl. I don't know. Oh, well, hello. Welcome. Yeah, man, dude, pinball's for everybody. I don't give a shit what you are. If you love pinball, you're welcome in the goddamn cult of pinball. So, yeah, enjoy your bath. Welcome to the cult. So they're talking about how they control the ball path everywhere and that there's just a bunch of different ways that they can control it. To your point about how it's going to get stuck digitally, they do talk about how their sculpts are specifically designed and they tested them a ton to make sure that the ball path has a way to get out no matter what. And if they did that for the sculpts, I would assume that they did plenty of testing to make sure the ball wouldn't get stuck coming down. Having said that, pinball is a physics experiment under glass, so who knows what can happen. Every game gets stuck balls. Fuck, man, I had so many stuck balls on my Warpy Jaws before I stopped playing it because I got tired of it being warped. But like every time I would shoot the shark, it would pop up immediately to the left of the shark and be stuck up behind that post. Super annoying. So, but easy to fix.
And you got a scoop here that's accessible from
Yeah.
multiple directions.
Yeah, well, that's because of the air balls, but that's a different issue.
You can shoot it from the backside, from under the flipper, and you also can do it through this spinner under here that goes under the sand dune and feeds it from the left side of it.
There's your pop bumper, by the way.
Yeah, this is probably the first thing. Is like we have to turn the thumper bumper, pop bumper into how we can call it. So obviously you can trigger by hitting it, and there are modes that you have to hit it to activate it. But there are times during the mode during the game when you're playing a game and you want to get some additional bonus.
I think so too, Supernoid. Oh, come on, man, stop! Give me the focus.
I'm Sid.
There we go. God. Camera knows she's way more attractive than I am.
Actually selected thumper on your 3 drop bank target here and collected it. These targets of the thumper bumpers, the thumpers here, if they're lit, you can hit it and you can cause the thumper to go off to call the worm to get a bonus. And as that is going, you'll see the progression of the worm slowly going towards the William mech, and once he gets up there, obviously it represents when William is ready to eat the ball. We learned a lot of things, but
it sounds like you bump the thumper bumper to call the worm, and then you can ride it, which, for son of a bitch. There we go. Yeah, there's a bumper there, thumper bumper. Having mixed feelings. Let's talk about it. Jay Biscuity, what are you having mixed feelings about? Tell me about your feelings. Let's share this moment together. Tell me.
I agree, Divisible. Jeff is so pretty.
Tell me what's bothering you. Jay Biscuity, what specifically about this is just making you feel a little off?
You're so cringe.
Because I think Dune's going to be a great game. And if it's not, it's going to be a bad game. And then we'll know. Where's the color? We talked about this. That's what you get for not being on stream earlier. We gotta go back to the earlier. I think you should be a little off-putting because you're. That's between two ferns reference. Anyways, so Jay Biscuity, as somebody who does. What's up, Brown Log Pinball? How's it going? Thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, Brown Log's another streamer as well. I've seen their channel up a few times, but every time I go on there, no one's ever playing pinball. But regardless, go check out Brown Log Pinball. So Jay Biscuity, I touched on this a little earlier. This playfield is based off using a few deliberate colors to create a color palette. There's 3 primary colors here, right? You have your yellow for the sand, you have your cyan or turquoise, as the artist said, and you have orange. And that is building the entire color palette for the playfield. And, they're deliberately doing that so that there is a specific color palette. Oh, speaking of chaos, there's now about to be a 7-year-old. Honey, yes. Daddy's on the internet with strangers. Oh, she needs help. I gotta help. Sid, take over.
Okay.
What's that? Let's show this ice cream kit. I have to go do this ice cream kit, so I'm gonna. Oh, really? I have to do this ice cream kit, so I'm gonna come back and we're gonna wrap the stream up because we're right at the end anyway. Stop hitting me, Ryder. Okay, here. Stop it. All right. Kids out. Kids out now. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Get out. Get out. Get them out. Oh. Okay. Anyways, sorry about that.
I'm a little kid who's chasing. Yeah, goodbye. I'm a squirrel.
Yeah, here the Cult of Pinball welcomes everybody, even 7-year-olds. So deal with it. Yes, so they're doing a deliberate color, and also so much of the game's color comes from the back LCD screen and the expression light system here, and this is why I'm saying this is Barrels did a bad job presenting their game. With this back screen, which changes for a day and night cycle, the illuminated lights on the side change from dark blue to yellow, the 2 primary colors of the game, for the experience. And then you have the entire inserts, and you can tell that their insert light show isn't working right now because so much of the footage, they're shooting ramps and stuff and nothing happens. And you don't think about that until all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, that's right. None of this is interacting. Whereas Kong is fucking bling blang, doing all sorts of shit all over the place. So it feels a lot more exciting. It feels like there's more color, except that Kong is the assault of color. But anyways, let's get back to this. because I have to go do that pink
And
box.
you got a scoop here that's accessible
Toy.
in multiple directions.
Yeah, so you can obviously shoot it directly.
Oh,
on,
yeah, we
you can
talked
shoot
about
it
the
from
prolapsed anus,
from
but
the
that's like, you know,
backside
total.
of the flipper. And you also can do it through this spinner under here that goes under the sand dune and feeds it from the left side of it. The thumper.
Yeah, that's a good point, Divisible. This is an open forum for discussion. So, Biscuity, other than the fact that it's blue and yellow, what don't you like about the art package? That's right. Don't forget, Kong's iconic. You heard George say it. Iconic. I'll wait. Oh, that's right. Roller Coaster's got access to his Stranger Things again. Must be break for him as well. Yeah, Johnny Button, it is a cinematic experience. And I think that once it actually is complete, it will feel like a cinematic experience. I think they are maybe 70% done with the game and they are trying to show it off in a way because they need to, because they knew Kong was coming out, because they knew Harry Potter was about to announce it. So Jay Biscuity says, I think coming off of playing Avatar, it's just hard to see anything else that kind of pop. But Avatar is all blue. So, I mean, it's a similar comparison. Here, let me show you the, what'd you call it? The ornithopter mode, where they actually use the expression lighting system in a way that's not, here we go. So here, check this
The whole
out.
rail lights up blue like the laser
It does
beam
pop,
from
but check this out.
The movie.
So this is
And then there's a little bit of
ornithopter
glow
mode,
along
right?
The rail when it blows up to go
Not the
along
red.
with all the other.
This is them showing off some of the cards. So this is the ornithopter mode where they're stuck in an ornithopter. Now there's an actual light show occurring. You know, there's activity and light on the playfield. Right.
Yeah,
It does. Now, you telling me that doesn't pop now? What's up? What's up? Do you still think that looks like...
In the survive mode when you're in the thopter, there's
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that they're using the expression lighting system to create color. And
forward
it's going
motion.
to. I mean, you saw they showed off it being neon pink and purple. Like, here, look, there's a Kong mode.
a lot of really cool effects.
Yeah, there's a Kong mode.
When
Here, you want to see
Harvester
Kong
gets
mode in
shot at the
Dune?
end of the
I'm
battle,
saying right
this
now,
whole
there's
rail
Dune, the
lights up
Kong in
blue,
Dune.
like the laser beam from the movie, and then there's a little bit of.
There you go. It's King Kong.
Pink.
King Kong.
Pink is not my favorite.
There you go. Doesn't that look like King Kong?
No.
Shh. Shut up, Sid.
Stop the ball from leaving, or we also can allow the ball to come out and come up to the upper flipper, and vice versa. We can stop the ball from going in. It has optos in front of it, so we can actually tell.
I do like the
ball
butthole
goes in and
too.
goes out. So we can stop it in multiple positions.
Yeah.
And you got a scoop here that's accessible from multiple directions.
Yeah, so you can obviously shoot
Turquoise.
it directly on. You can shoot it from behind.
I can't believe I must have talked over when he said turquoise, because that was so funny. We'll end the stream by going back and hear him say turquoise, because it's great.
Left side of it. The thumper
Instead of
bumper.
turquoise.
Yeah, this is
We already did that.
that.
Thank you so much, Jay Biscuity. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
The thumpers here.
It seems like these broadcasts are getting a lot of feedback, and I appreciate that. People are digging here and enjoying sharing their opinions too. I'm not here just to talk about mine. I want to hear yours too, even though just like Johnny Button and Jay Biscuity, they're both wrong. 2 subs, 1 house.
And once he gets up
We're going to run out of soap if we keep giving out all these baths. Like, Tub Guy has a very limited amount of Wacko Cult. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, the emoji's blowing up everywhere. By the way, don't worry about that girl. She's fine. She's going to play pinball. She's probably going to the Stern event. That's where that bus is going. Thank you so much for the gift subs, Roller Coasters. I super appreciate it. Look at that. There's Bath. It's Bath Central. Oh. Big skull's in the wrong spot. This is looking at me an opportunity. Oh no, it is in the right spot. Look at that. Oh my God, it's chaos. What is happening right now? Oh no, the Twilight Zone spiral went into this poor man's head. I hope he's okay. Jesus Christ. Water is life, and here on Dune, we give out baths. That's right. Dirty Pool ready to give you all the baths.
We need 2 more baths, right?
Yeah, we'll do the baths later, man. I gotta go build this thing with my daughter. You're making me look like a bad dad.
give to the collector that they don't have to watch.
Yeah, so that's CNK. That's I think what a lot of people's opinion is going to be. Oh, son of a bitch! Give out the baths. Fuck it. Let's go. God dang it! Happening. Stop it! I'm trying to do a pinball broadcast. I'm trying to stream! Stop it! Stop it! God damn it! Yo! Oh my god! Chill! Oh no, that one's out of alignment too. God damn it! Of course, we stop on the weirdest one. No, stop! Chill! Chill! Alright, let's go back to it.
Turquoise.
Man.
Right hand down.
Oh, that one's out of alignment too. God damn it, I tested them all. Oh my God, it's amateur hour here. All right, thank you so much, guys. Divisible and Roller Coasters, that's 10 gift subs. If you got them, say thank you, please. Don't be a jerk. If you did get a gifted sub, yeah, I don't know. I hope you come back and hang out. We play a lot of pinball. We do a lot of fun stuff, and I get poked in the ears, and I got to build weird plastic things. Not like that. Not like a big worm butthole. All right.
And a lot of things people add to the game, including Labyrinth. People
it does look fun. I'm really stoked for this game. So to my point, CNK, I think a lot of people that don't like Dune are going to get over that when they play the game. Look, how many...
Get in the butthole?
All right, who here... Thank you, Divisible. I'm glad you like it. Oh, did we get a hype train too? And I'm wasting it by fucking chit-chatting? Yeah, we're at 0% level 4. Sitting there at 0%, baby. Okay, but real question, everybody that's here. We got like 50 people here. It's a great stream. How many of you felt that way about Labyrinth? How many really gave a shit about Labyrinth, the IP, and then played the game and was like, this is a pretty neat pinball machine? Was that anybody here? I like Labyrinth, but I wasn't like, oh man, I've wanted a Labyrinth pinball machine my entire life. I love the movie. Who doesn't like David Bowie, right? Oh, thank you, Rusty Dagger. All right, give him a bath. Fuck it. Well, I'm going to put this on YouTube later, and everyone's going to get so, what is happening? Why is that not in alignment now? Ass! Okay, so... Botron is exactly, by the way, what's up, Botron? Good to see you again. Botron absolutely nailed it. Yeah, but that's the same kind of person that's like, I don't give a shit about Dune. You're playing for a pinball experience. There's a lot of video games. There's a lot of movies where I've just been like, man, I don't really kind of care about the theme, but people have said it's really good. I'm going to go check it out. And that's changed my mind. There's music from genres of music where I would be like, man, I wouldn't listen to this genre in a million years. Country music. Sorry. But I have heard country music that I'm just like, this is amazing technically. I would not go listen to a bunch of country music, but there are songs and genres that I would not listen to that have been very impressive. So, you know, I think they're done with Bowie. Ashes to Ashes. Amazing, amazing Bowie song. If you haven't heard it, go listen. There you go. Digitally Incorrect said that Labyrinth is his favorite pinball machine from 2023 and is the reason that I watched the movie. There you go. Somebody that loved the pinball machine so much that they went and watched the movie. And I hope that that happens with Dune people too. Because there are 2 Dune movies. Well, there's like 50 Dune movies if you count how long they are. Yeah. But, you know, the original David Lynch film is not a great film, but it is an exciting, not exciting. It is a dumpster fire of interesting creativity. We'll put it that way. That's how I would describe the David Lynch film. And then, you know, the new one, the Villeneuve stuff is pretty good. But yeah, I said it, man. I love the first Dune movie. It's amazing. It is a very great cult movie. Yeah. The shredding guitar, like, wow, 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 while he's riding the worm. Like, it's so cheesy. It's got Sting in it. It's got Sting. What? He explodes, kind of. Anyways, Sting was the best bad guy. Watching him get air blasted underneath in the like Harkonnen, like, I don't know, sexy clean chamber. He's like taking a shower, just getting his nuts blasted. He's just like, man, you know what my nuts need? Air dry. Yeah, so the books are really good, or at least the first 2 books. I think after that, it kind of goes downhill. But anyways, then his son took over and started writing more Dune books, and it's just like even more of a disaster. Point being, if you're not on board with a theme, give it a chance. I don't give a shit about King Kong either. I'm going to say it right now. Godzilla, I'm like all about Godzilla. Godzilla's great, especially when I had Godzilla, the Godzilla fan himself, Goons, on the show and explained even more about Godzilla to me. And now I'm even more of a Godzilla fan. But I don't care about King Kong. But I do like a good pinball machine. So, anyways. Okay, we really need to wrap this up.
That's where we came up with
before we get interrupted again.
They call it HAL for short.
They're talking about all the stuff that they're including stock, which we've talked about.
Into the cabinet. So where the playfield glass slides in, underneath that we created a whole new cavity where we actually line in RGBWs so we can actually fully control the light down onto the playfield. So that was one of the key features that we wanted to add.
That's what the world needs, is a Tom Selleck pinball machine.
A lot of
I'm saying it right now.
We did. I mean, we're happy
Barrels of Fun's next game is a Tom Selleck pinball machine. It's not based on any movie or anything. It's just Tom Selleck, the pinball machine. You wait.
Scratch their decals. So how can we fix that? There are different things that
Ferrari
other companies do.
I had my stash yesterday. I got rid of it because they yelled at me.
Was the Everglass decals was the way to go because although they're not
Tom Selleck barbecue challenge. I love that. That's amazing.
And it's not going to curl up under the lens.
Oh, that's beautiful.
We also did a mirroring printing on the
Botron
backside of it. So
it's MVP for the stream today.
On the inside of the Everglass decals.
All right, so yeah, they're talking about the Everglass decals, about how they're bright and colorful, and they have their own
system in this because of this game is so cinematic.
Amplifier system for their speakers and cutouts and expression lighting. I mean, come on, look at all the shit you're getting on a game.
So we included a independent amplifier that's actually in the back box now. So
you go, Barrels. I support the hell out of you. If you don't like the theme, you should support the company based on their consumer forward practices.
People pay a lot of money.
Not enough fucking companies actually give a shit about the people buying their products, and it shows that Barrels of Fun actually cares.
Quality game we possibly can for the
call me a liar.
And
you know,
at the end of the day, it's one of those things with Labyrinth.
Also, don't ever say that at the end of the day on a like commercial broadcast. Like that's a no-no phrase.
One of our vendors.
At the end of the day, I'm not gonna do it.
Kind of did doubt what we could be doing, but when they saw what we did with Labyrinth, they trusted us more, which means we actually had better buying power. And when we got better buying
I mean, I did lighten up on him. I was like, at least he is being a little relatable. I just hate suit talk. If you drop the word cinematic experience, like I've already tuned out.
But if it's included, of course I love it. But so many people asked for a shaker motor in Labyrinth, so we had to make sure we had a shaker motor in this game. The good news is also the shaker motor that goes into this.
You're right, CNK. We'll go find that right now.
Able to work in Labyrinth. We got to get the boards in because it has to have a separate board for it.
Yeah, Easter's coming up. We got to hurry up before Easter gets here.
I'm Travis Moslin with Barrels of Fun, and proud to introduce the Dune Pinball machine.
It's the guy who does engineering and sculpting.
As contributing to the mechanical layout and producing the overall model of the play field and doing all that integration. So I'm really proud of the layout and the overall gameplay that we've been able to put into the machine. It's got.
Oh man, this is my favorite. This is my favorite part. Look at this. Look at what it says on the screen right here. What is the replay award right now? That's right. Satisfaction. That's like great. Extra ball? Hell no. Free game? Satisfaction.
Mechanisms and toys that are all, I think, to come together in a really cohesive package. It's really packed edge to edge. You'll notice that there's shots that go all the way to the edge of the playfield wood on both sides of the playfield. It's got 3 opto spinners that are an upgrade from even what we did on Labyrinth with its renowned spinner through the forks.
I just want everybody to know that I'm picking my
Game's packed
nose,
with magnets
but
and custom
I'm
mechs.
hiding
There's
it
one
behind this
mechanism
full
in
screen
particular
video
that I think
so you can't
everybody's
see
gonna
it.
talk about. That's the worm mech.
So you can't.
And it's a really
can't say that I did
multifaceted
it.
mech.
There's no
So it's
evidence.
Not only like the Tales of the Arabian Nights magnet that can catch the ball and eat it, but it's also has a giant rotating cylinder that is the body of the sandworm, and it can raise up all the way to the height
I
of the
didn't
wire
catch
form.
that, Johnny. That's
And
really
it can,
funny. I bet you're absolutely
move
right.
In the mouth that eats the ball. and
Speaking of
body
dumb suit
in,
talk from
any
Electronic
way
Arts.
you want, so in relation to one another. So we could have some really neat choreography.
All right, there you go. You saw it. They are clearly working on it. There's that burst of green that goes up through the playfield there.
Planned for that overall mech. So sometimes it goes up slowly or quickly, and sometimes it eats the ball or
mouse on the screen,
swallows the the harvester in a sort of different way.
And then you can see the day-night cycle change, and they have limited lighting going on. Look at the big difference between this, right? That's night.
Swallows the harvester
and that's day.
Sort of different way.
It really does change the color temperature of the entire playfield in a cool way. And that's still with a bunch of dumb lights on it, studio lights, so you can see the playfield art.
If the player is bashing into it, so we use that creatively in some of the modes.
I also think the sound design is going to be really amazing on this. The film had, there you go, look at that. That's a cool light show.
Left or right.
The movie, like it or not, was a very epic experience with the score and with the sound design. And if they have access to all the assets, which it looks like they do, that's going to be amazing. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I do hope that someone mods a diffuser plastic strip that can go over it. I would be willing to lose like half the brightness of those LEDs to have diffuse softer lighting.
Just on top of the really,
we'll see.
Precise move, and it's it's so precise that it's really easy to level against the playfield.
That is
even because
absolutely a butthole.
You go into the menu and
ain't
you
no
can
doubt.
bump it up a millimeter or down a millimeter and get it nice and flush with the
He's talking about how consistent the mechanic is, and that the prolapse butthole here is a very strong system. We'll have to see how that holds up, because a lot of new pinball machines, they do have. Look at this. You made me play that one Tame the Land song, and it's suggesting techno now. And get out of here with that. All right. Anyways, let's go find Turquoise as a nice little send-off. I believe that's under the Johnny Crap artwork.
Hey, my name is Jonathan Bergeron, like Jonathan Bergeron.
Turquoise.
Like I'm French Canadian, so I'm known as Johnny Crap.
Dude, double flip. If you make a 3D printed diffusion, there's a bunch of silicone ones that you can get on,
it's been
like silicone strips that cover LED strips on what's that website? Amazon. Maybe you've heard of it.
On and off.
So that's a good starting point. But
when you heard
someone
first
making
that
it would be cool.
Got an opportunity to do some artwork on Dune. Obviously, sand plays an integral
Stuff
role in
that
that.
breaks?
Do you find that to be
What?
a challenge?
Stuff that
Like,
breaks.
okay, how do
Yeah.
I make sand interesting?
Yeah,
Spooky's
for
games have a hard time
like,
working.
I was
That's
actually
something
working
that they
on
should probably
Labyrinth at
improve.
the time when you told me, like, we're probably going to have
But
the
I like
Dune
Spooky a lot.
license.
It's a
Would
good
you be
underdog.
interested in working on that? And like being
terrible.
Like I said, like I'm French Canadian. Denis Villeneuve is
Say
from, like,
Turquoise.
super excited because like I kind of love the movies. Sand, yeah, like the first thing you think about is like brown and yellows and beige, tan. Like that's the color palette you're working with. But in the movie, like he uses a lot of the oranges and the turquoise, like blues. He plays a lot with that. So basically, the turquoise, like blues. He plays a lot with that. So.
Absolutely. There's nothing really funny about it. He is pronouncing a word. He is French Canadian. I'm not making fun of him. It's just that's hilarious from a big old dumb American standpoint. Turquoise. For someone who's only heard turquoise pronounced. See, I can't even talk. Go ahead, make fun of me. Okay. Anyways, thank you everybody who spent over 2 hours of their day hanging out, breaking down Dune with me. To all the new followers, to the gift subs, to everybody that shouted out and hooked it up. I really appreciate it. I highly recommend, if you enjoy stuff that isn't this content and you want to see me play pinball, go check it out over, I don't fucking know. Go the way that takes you to the videos. You can figure it out. You're using a computer. We stream on Twitch a lot. And yeah, I'm really enjoying building this pinball fucking thing with all of you. And I hope you continue to come on the journey with me, Don't come on me. I mean, come on the journey. Prolapsed anus. My ass. Okay, as we always do, let's find a tiny channel that has nobody watching it and raid them with a bunch of people that do love pinball. If you do love pinball, let's, holy shit. It's kitties and me raining everywhere. Yeah, let's raid somebody. All praise the Great Pyramid. Thank you so much for hanging out. Tell your friends. Enjoy life. Goodbye.
All praise the Great Pyramid. Thank you so much for hanging out. Tell your friends.